I do want to talk about just a tiny bit negative about some of the turncoats that I'm calling them. People that should have stayed in the fight with the rest of us. But they felt like they couldn't go the Pat McAfee route. They couldn't go the Clay Travis route. Because Clay Travis and Pat McAfee, they got big checks. Even though they fought against this woke culture, they got big checks. You didn't have to sell out. You didn't have to be a turncoat to get a big check. You needed a pair of balls to stand your ground, and they did it. But here's some people that didn't, and I'm going to say up front, there's a couple of guys on this list that I like and that I respect. I have to say that. But I also have to say they sold out. So here's my list of turncoats. Dan Le Batard. And, you know, Dan Le Batard used to be my best friend in the sports media. I still, know Dan's entire family, knew his brother that passed away. You know, I still have warm feelings for Dan Le Batard, but I just don't trust him because he's a turncoat. This is a guy that years ago got in trouble for writing a column that basically said that Patrick Ewing was a gorilla or a monkey or looked like one or something like that. And now he's a guy that is complaining about Shane Gillis cracking WNBA jokes. Now he's a guy just surrounded by a bunch of woke little kids that want to point their finger, oh, you can't crack those jokes, you got it. Dan Le Batard, turncoat, and I like Dan. Or I have warm memories of my friendship with Dan. Bill Simmons is my favorite sports columnist of all time, but he's a turncoat. But Bill Simmons used to write the funniest stuff in sports media that I didn't write. My favorite sports columnist of all time, I laugh out loud, used to write things and have a little gimmick about guess who's a WNBA player and guess who's an NBA player, and he'd put pictures up side by side, and you couldn't tell who was the WNBA player and who was the NBA player. Now, to get that Grantland money or the Ringer money or whatever, Bill Simmons, very politically correct or very quiet on this front, tends to avoid it. He's kind of like Jimmy Kimmel that was on The Man Show, and the next thing you know, Jimmy Kimmel is one of the most woke, politically correct people in all the media. I have very warm feelings towards Bill Simmons, and my memories of his politically incorrect and very, very provocative, ahead of the curve, informative columns, someone that I respect. The next person, Skip Bayless, sellout, turncoat, in my opinion. I don't know anybody else in the sports media that has kissed, and I'm just going to keep it real, guys, has kissed more black butt than Skip Bayless, has shoved his head up the rear end of any and everything black, trying to protect himself from criticism because he used to criticize LeBron James. Running around pretending like him and Lil Wayne are BFF, running around with a little gold chain and the Air Jordan shoes. The man's 70 some odd years old. Turncoat. Next guy I got a lot of respect for, former co-worker, still does some good stuff from time to time, but Cowherd basically stayed on the porch during this entire war and would pretend to be woke. You know, he's one of these guys that, I'm a fiscal conservative, but I'm a social liberal. And my best friend is Bill Romanowski. But I'm telling you, I like Cowherd. I like what he does from time to time. Because now that the wind is blowing the other direction, he's aware that the wind is blowing the other direction. We're about to see the real Colin Cowherd again from time to time. But I got to call him a turncoat. Sorry, Colin. Sarah Spain and Katie Nolan, these guys are easy for me. I don't like either one of them. Sarah Spain entered the media universe by offering up her breast and herself for Super Bowl tickets. And now is one of the biggest woke scolds in the history of sports media. She hates everything, including Shane Gillis's brilliant hosting of the ESPY Awards. And Katie Nolan is basically white Joy Taylor, who was supposed to be some sort of rebel, supposed to be, some kind of provocative, edgy talk show host. She was going to set the sports media on fire. She's always been a corporate clown and a Joy Taylor, the original Joy Taylor, laid the blueprint and the foundation for someone like Joy Taylor to even exist. Anyway, all these people turncoats. If I've left someone off credit for being, one of these Purple Heart winners, or if I've left someone off that's a turncoat, let me know in the chat. Let me know via email. But I just want to start there by declaring victory. We took a major scalp in the culture war. We have returned to sanity as it relates to this wokeness in the sports media when someone like Pat McAfee is basically the face of ESPN, and the guy's not politically correct. I don't agree with everything he does. He ain't all the way there. But anytime Pat McAfee is the face of ESPN and Dave Portnoy is about to be one of the faces of Fox Sports, along with Colin Cowherd, we got to declare victory. And we got to say hats off to the people that helped fight this war. Clay Travis, Riley Gaines, myself. I put myself, sorry for this narcissism and arrogance, but I put myself at the top of the list. I was taking scalps and taking bullets all this entire time. I'm the only person. I went to war with Colin Kaepernick in 2016 as soon as he started this BS. And because if we were going to go 1 and 2, you got to put Clay Travis number 2, and some people will argue number 1. He's got that Outkick deal. He hired Bobby Burak. The reason why I give myself more credit is because there is no social movement, there is no cultural victories unless the victory starts on a spiritual basis. And I say that in all seriousness. People only make these types of sacrifices if there's some kind of spiritual force guiding them. And that's not me. Listen, I'm a recovering degenerate. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. But you just don't win these type of cultural wars without God. And I'm not an atheist. I'm not an agnostic. You know what I am. You know what Clay is if you've been paying attention. But I got to give him credit. And you can go, if you said Clay and Outkick and all that is number 1, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to bicker with you. But I'm the real general. I'm Ulysses S. Grant in this, or I'm Abe Lincoln in this, in freeing the sports media. Thank you very much.